Hello everyone, this is Paukshte Fashion Workshop. I remind you that we post new videos every day. I also want to remind you that some of our video courses are already available. Buy them if you haven't done it yet. We would really appreciate your support. Today we're going to show you one more technique for edging the sleeve bottom. In our case, there will be a slit in the center sleeve. Nataly is going to draw it. You can make a slit anywhere you want. Be creative. Decorate sleeves with buttons, lacing, strings, anything. In our case, the slit is going to be 15 centimeters long. Draw a line and make a space and seam on it. I recommend you making space and seams for you to see everything clearly. To edge the slit, we need a piece of fabric and the interfacing material. Anyway, first, we're going to make a facing. We need to make a pattern for it. Measure the half of the sleeve width and the length of the opening. 15 centimeters plus 5 millimeters for the seam allowance. Next, we need to measure the width of the facing. It's going to be 4.5 centimeters wide. You can make it as wide as you want. We've decided to make it 4.5 centimeters wide for you to see everything clearly. Next, we need to round the corners. The lines should be smooth and beautiful. Draw the lines in such a way that you'll be able to edge them with an overlocker. This is very important. Don't make the line too round. Perfect. Nataly is cutting the pattern for the facing. Tailors are usually better at cutting than they are at drawing. Very nice. We need to mark the opening in it. We've decided to alter this part a bit. You can make these details of any shape you want. You just need to remember that they are going to be edged with an overlocker. This is why the line should be smooth. Well done. Next, we need to cut the facing of the main fabric and the interfacing material. Be very attentive. The lengthwise grain in the sleeve and the facing must well, as well as the lengthwise grain in the interfacing material. This is very important. It's very convenient to work with such patterns when they're folded in half. We're sure that we are making symmetric details. This is the best way to make accurate facing. Please, do not forget that we show you just a mock-up of the sleeve. You need to make 2 of each detail. 2 sleeves, 2 facing. But just one pattern. Next, we need to cut the facing of the main fabric. Don't be lazy. Make patterns for the facing. Whether the facing is accurate or not affects the result. Let's go to the ironing desk to double the details with the interfacing material. Apply the interfacing material to the fabric and press it. Be very careful, don't stretch the details. When you finish ironing, check if the details are accurate. It is very nice. We just need to trim the edges. To do that, we've decided to fold the facing in half. This is the best way to do it. As I've already said, we have to be sure that the sides are symmetric. All the extra pieces are clearly seen here. Be very attentive. Do not forget that you need to make 2 of each detail. Work with them simultaneously. Next, we need to mark the center in the detail. And we also need to measure and mark 15 centimeters up from the bottom. Attach the facing to the main fabric face to face. Be very attentive. We need to pin the details. When it's done, we'll go to the sewing machine. We're going to stitch the details from the facing side. Pin the details carefully and accurately. Be very attentive when pinning the slit. Very nice. Let's go to the sewing machine. Nataly is stitching the details. She is stitching the bottom of the sleeve now. When you reach the slit, be very attentive now, please. The width of the seam at the bottom is 5 millimeters. The width of the seam on the slit should be 2 millimeters. Turn the detail very carefully. You should stitch right along the center. The width of the seam should be about 2 millimeters. When you reach the top of the slit, make a couple of stitches here, 1 or 2. Then turn the detail and stitch down to the bottom. We're going to make a slit in the very center, in between these two seams. Now we need to continue stitching the bottom. The width of the seam here is 5 millimeters. Have a close look at the seam. We've stitched the bottom and the slit. I'd like to add that in our case, the fabric is pretty strong. This is why we didn't double the opening of the sleeve. If the fabric is not strong enough in your case, you'd better double it first. Next, we need to remove the taking. When it's done, we will cut the slit. Notice how careful Nataly is. She's cutting right in between the two seams. Be very careful, please. When you reach the top, make 2 tiny cuts towards the angles. The details are tiny here. You should be very careful and attentive. Next, we need to turn the detail right side out. We are going to top stitch it next. As I've already said, if the fabric you're working with is not strong enough, you need to double the slit with the interfacing material. We've turned the detail right side out. We haven't top stitched or ironed it yet. This is how it looks like now. That's all for today. Next time we are going to show you what to do next. We're Ira and Nataly. Subscribe to this channel. Thank you. Goodbye.